This is Glistening with Swift Mind Care, a place to understand how your brain actually works instead of blaming yourself for not trying hard enough.
Hey, friend, guess what? ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, isn't actually an attention deficit at all. That sentence surprises people every time I say it in a session, and it surprises parents. It surprises the executives I coach, and even surprises the clinicians who learned the diagnostic criteria one way and never questioned the label itself. Here's the problem. The name we gave this condition back in the 80s was already inaccurate, and we've spent 40 years living with the consequences. I'm Rochelle Goldenberg. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in California, and I'm autistic. I specialize in working with neurodivergent adults, people navigating autism, ADHD, and the complexity of being wired differently in a world built for someone else. Today, I want to talk about something that sounds really simple. It does change everything once you get it, and it's the name we gave ADHD and why. That name's been getting in the way for 40 years. And I say this all of the time, and people are surprised that ADHD isn't an attention deficit. Thing is that attention deficit hyperactivity disorder sounds like there's not enough attention, not enough focus. And if you read between the lines, which most teachers, bosses, and family members do, it sounds like not enough effort. That is not actually what's happening. So, what's really happening? That's the question, right? Yeah. Well, the real issue is regulation. It's not about having less attention. It's really about attention that doesn't do what you want it to do when you need it to do it. So, some days that looks like too little attention. Other days it looks like hyper focus that is so intense that everything else disappears meals, meetings, time itself. You might have five equally important tasks and genuinely not know where to start because every single option feels equally urgent. And that's the problem. It's equally urgent and equally loud. That's not a deficit, that's a filtering system that just works differently. The volume is fine, it's the dial that's unpredictable. So, why is it that the name matters? Well, here's where this stops being just vocabulary. Language shapes how people treat you. When someone hears attention deficit, they hear not paying attention on purpose. A boss hears an employee that doesn't care, or a teacher hears a kid who isn't trying and is just messing around. A partner hears someone who's turning them out, tuning them out. And I hear the aftermath of that in every single intake that I have with ADHD. Adults who've spent years being told, focus harder, use more organizing tools, never knowing that their brain was already working incredibly hard, just not in the direction that the task required. The name creates a conversation that starts with blame. Why aren't you concentrating? Instead of, what's making it hard for your attention to land where you need it right now? One question leads to shame, the other leads to a solution. So you might be wondering what actually works. Well, once you understand ADHD as a regulation difference, the support changes completely. You're not trying harder, you're reducing cognitive load so that your brain has fewer competing signals to sort through. You're creating clear external priorities instead of expecting internal ranking to happen automatically. You can build environments that work with the brain's natural rhythm of focus and drift and not fighting it. This is where I see the biggest shifts with my clients. Once they get that ADHD isn't about regulation, is about regulation and not about effort, they stop white knuckling through their life and building systems that work for them instead, really listening and paying attention. And that's when performance actually improves, not because they finally found willpower, but because they stopped fighting a system that was never designed to work that way for them anyway. Now, if you're ADHD, that's autism and ADHD together, this gets even more layered and it's more common than people realize. Autistic brains often experience something called monotropism, where something naturally the attention locks into one thing at a time. That's not a flaw, it's just different. And it's often an effective way of getting your focus there. Now, if you put that alongside ADHD's shifting attention and you get two systems that don't want to agree, one part of your brain wants to lock in and go deep, and the other part wants to scan, switch, and chase the next spark. Squirrel, squirrel, right? For ADHD adults, the attention deficit framing fails twice over. It misses the regulation piece for ADHD, and it completely ignores that attention was never the core issue for autism in the first place. So, the old question was, why can't you concentrate? I'm going to challenge you. The better question is, what would make it easier for your attention to land where you need it? That single shift changes everything: how your workplace accommodates you, how a parent talks to their kid, how you talk to yourself at night, replaying everything you didn't get done. The name, attention deficit, gave us decades of misunderstanding. And this reframe, well, it gives us accuracy, honesty, and a little bit more kindness. So if you notice that a scratchy shirt in a loud room makes it so that you can't focus, that isn't false. That's actually a reality. Our brain is operating differently. And I hope that changing this framework from deficit to difference makes a difference for you. Thanks for listening.
If this resonates, please like and share this video. Subscribe for more information and perspectives on neurodiversity, autism, and how to work with your brain instead of against it. If you want to learn even more, visit the website at swiftmind.care. That's swiftmind.care. Learn about how to support neurodivergent folks, how we help connect people to resources, and you can feel free to explore resources like the blog for yourself. Thanks for watching.